Hello, welcome back to this Drafty House. I wanted to just say before I begin that I'm sorry about the music in the last video, not intentional. I switched to new editing software, and like anything new, there's a learning experience involved with it. So I'm getting much more comfortable with it, so that was an accident. It's not going to happen again. And yeah, so welcome back. It's the last day of January, like left with all of this free time. Not really like left with it, but our oldest son is in kindergarten, so he's at school, but our youngest son just started part-time daycare, and it feels life-changing to me. It's just 11 now, and I've already done so much today. So I thought, why not do a little video update? Because it's the end of the month, I thought it would be fun to maybe do a wrap-up on things that I've done this month. Some things that I'm looking forward to for next month. So yeah, I'll start by introducing myself. If you're new here, my name is Lindsay, and I'm a yarn dyer based out of Hamilton, Ontario. I'm a mom. I have a plethora of hobbies and things that I love to do, and I'm trying to find my way back to a few of these things. So if you watched the last video, you'll know that I've been in a knitting slump, so I'm not really knitting, but I do have a whip to share with you. I've been in a bit of a painting slump, and I kind of got back into painting this week. I don't want to say I'm forcing myself to paint, but I'm pushing myself to at least try. I've got a bunch of book stuff to talk about, which is really exciting. And then I guess just some things that I'm looking forward to for next month. So yeah, I realized that last time I didn't say what I was wearing. I was wearing a shawl that was sample knit for me. It was a very old sample. Today I'm wearing, I did make this. This is the Linden sweatshirt by Grainline Studio. The pattern's just right up on my bulletin board. This fabric, I can't really tell you much about the fabric because I bought it so long ago, and there was no... Sometimes I order fabric and it comes with a little information card, and I can hold on to that. And in this, it's a knit fabric. But yeah, I don't remember exactly what the content is. I just knew that I bought it to make a Linden sweatshirt. So this is my second one. I sized up on this one, so it's a little bit more baggy. It's super fun. I love it. And yeah, I'm gonna start with the knitting. So I think that's really fun. Again, I haven't made a lot of progress. I did share this on my Instagram, but I don't know what came over me. I just felt like I wanted to do something, at least challenge myself to start something. So the pattern that I chose is one that I've wanted to work on for a few months now, and that is the Badger and Bloom sweater by Vencelle. She has a few different options on her website. I chose the unisex because it's supposed to be a bit roomier, baggier. This is how far I've gotten so far, and I'm loving it. I feel like it's because they're not really colors that I would, like if you looked at my stash right now, I like these colors, but I don't really seem to have any of these colors in my stash. So anyways, I chose, this is Daisy. This is from one of my first update this year. This is on my custom milled domestic Corriedale base. So Daisy is the main color, and when I saw it next to Whiskey, which is this color here, I just loved the way that the two looked together. I thought they kind of balanced each other out. Whiskey gives Daisy a little bit more color, Daisy kind of mutes Whiskey a little bit more. And then I decided to, I don't really wear a lot of blue besides blue jeans. So I decided to add in Cloud, which is this really pale blue. So I shared a picture on my Instagram of these three in the skein form, and I actually made it my phone background because I loved just the colors together. I don't know, it just called to me. So I impulsively cast it on, and I knit all of this in one night. And I just have to get back to it. Again, I haven't been in a crazy knitting mood, but this is a really fun pattern. It works up really quickly. This is the second and Ventzel pattern that I've casted on. I have not finished the first one, but I do have sleeves left on that one. So yeah, she makes great patterns. It's really, really pretty. I'm really happy with how it's working up. So that is my whip. Again, not much knitting content, but that's the first thing that I've casted on in a month-ish, and I'm pretty proud of myself. So I'll keep chipping away at that and working on it here and there. I haven't even bought yarn. Like, I have no yarn acquisitions to share with you, which is totally fine with me because I actually feel like I have a lot in my stash that I want to work towards. But art, so I haven't really shared too much on here about my art. I did have a separate Instagram account where I was posting art, and when I started, my goal was to post once a day at least, like paint or draw once a day. And then in November, I think I just kind of stopped. So I've been trying to get back into it. I have a lot of art materials. I actually went through and I'm selling some stuff and getting rid of stuff, donating stuff, because I have kind of figured out what I like and what I don't like, so that I could show you some of the things I've been painting as of late. I like to use things like Skillshare and Domestika, take classes and learn different techniques and learn different styles and figure out what it is that I actually really like to do. Because like I said, I studied art in school and I loved it, and I was always doing something artsy. I know for a fact that I never really loved sculpture. I had to do a sculpture class in college. We pretty much had to do everything, and that was probably my least favorite. So I've been taking some classes, painting, things like that, and I've been really enjoying it. I posted this one on my Instagram, so you've probably seen it if you've been there, but I did a watercolor sheep. She does not have a name. So that was fun. I might hang it in one of the kids' rooms, or maybe I'll sell it, I don't know. So that was done with watercolor, and that is taught by a UK-based artist. I want to say her name is Jane. I have her tagged here. Yes, Jane Davies. So she does a bunch of Skillshare classes, and she teaches you her method for doing watercolor paintings. Her stuff is unreal. Like, she takes commissions, and she does commissions. So this is something that she painted. Yeah, so I really recommend her classes if you want to get into doing watercolor animal paintings. And then after that, I took a folk art class, and I really loved this. I believe I don't remember the teacher's name, unfortunately, but I can link it. She says that you can do this in watercolor or gouache. I chose to do it in acrylic gouache, which is different than traditional gouache. Traditional gouache is water-based. Acrylic gouache is acrylic-based, so it's permanent. Once you lay the paint down, you can't reactivate it. So I did a folk art class, and this was the outcome of that, which I was really happy for my first go. And then I did pencil crayon on top to get all of those little small line details. I could have painted it, but I chose to do the pencil crayon. And then yesterday I started this one, which is also folk art inspired. Not done yet, but I'm really happy with where it's going. And then I totally effed it up and I smudged it. So I'm contemplating painting a dark background to fix it. But yeah, I've just kind of been easing back into the painting and just trying new things, playing around, not putting too much pressure on myself, and just seeing what happens with it. And then what else this month? I painted our house again. I feel like I'm always painting, but when we moved in 7 years ago, the staircase that leads to the upstairs, the second floor, some of the walls are like 19 feet, 20 feet tall. So I always kind of told myself we would need to hire somebody to do that. There's no way I could do it. And then I think we finally just had enough of staring at flesh colored walls. And so I decided to paint it this weekend. It's not fully done yet, but it's crazy what a difference it is. And there will be footage in here of me painting because, yeah, it was just such a transformation. And then to talk about books, it's the end of the month, so I thought I could share my January stats with you. Maybe I'll talk about them and then I'll save the setup for another video. But essentially, I've started a reading journal, and I ended up starting it in December. I was gonna try and wait to start it in January, but I was just too impatient. So it has things like a reading tracker, which I actually have really, really liked. I try to read every day, but in December there was 6 days that I just didn't get around to reading holiday stuff. And then so far in January, there's only been 1 day that I haven't read. It has my TBR, which is like a visual, and I love this page a lot. I'm trying to figure out how to mark the books. I've seen some people put like a little sticker, like a little dot sticker in the corner, so I might try and do that. I have to find little dot stickers. I have a spot for book recommendations, so if you guys have book recommendations, I'm always writing them down. And then it goes into my month, and so I have December reads, and I don't write every book out, but I will write out the books that I kind of want to put some notes down to. So for January, I wrote out notes for To Kill a Kingdom. I read It Happened One Summer by Tessa Bailey, A Shadow in the Ember by Jennifer L. Armentrout, The House in the Cerulean Sea by T.J. Klune. I wrote out notes for the Wolf by Hannah Witten. And then I also read Among the Beasts and Briars. I read Fable by Adrian Young. And then I read Namesake by Adrian Young. I had one did not finish, which was the second, I can't even remember what it's called now. A Touch of Malice, which is the third book in the Hades and Persephone series by Scarlett St. Clair. I got 70%. I read 70% of this book, and I found myself cringing or eye rolling or just kind of like, what am I like, I was listening to the audiobook. Just what am I listening to? I did not like it. The first 2 books were great. I enjoyed them. I was really excited for the 3rd book to come out, and then there's a 4th book, and I could not get through the 3rd book, so I'm just, yeah. So that was my did not finish. But I'm kind of the same way with TV shows, where if I start it and I don't really like it, I kind of still want to see where it goes. So I might go back and finish the book. I'm not sure yet. So yeah, I read 8 books. I did not finish 1 book. And the majority of the books that I read were fantasy. I do really like a fast-paced book, but most of the books that I read were about a medium pace. There was a few slow-paced books, and it's funny because Fable ended up being one of those. I enjoyed it once it got to the end. I think I said this in the last video, maybe, but the first half of the book, I was trying to hold on. I found it very slow. So I'm excited to see how February goes, because I do have a TBR for February picked out, which is pretty exciting. And then the next part, actually just added this in on a whim. I wasn't going to do this, but I added a most anticipated releases section, and I made it like super fun. So I printed out the book covers, and I've put a little star beside the books that I've already pre-ordered, which is a lot of them. And then I only have it filled out for the first 6 months of the year. And then I think probably at the end of June, I'll do like the next 6 months of the year, because authors are still announcing when books are coming out. Oh, and then I shared this in my Instagram, but I set up my February cover page, which I'm really happy with. I went a little bit more minimalist in terms of the collaging, which I've actually really been enjoying. So it might become a thing. I tried doing a super collage with the most anticipated releases, and I don't love it. So I think I'm gonna try sticking to more themed stuff and doing it like this, because I really love how this turned out. And then for my TBR for February, which is actually my birth month. My birthday is on the 2nd. I'm a groundhog baby. This is my TBR for February, which is pretty crazy. Actually, 2 of these are a maybes. There's like a bunch of books that I really want to read, but I'll start with, for the Knittery Society, which is the book club that I host. This is our book of the month, She Who Became the Sun by Shelley Parker Chan. I already started. I am about 20 pages in, and I'm loving it. So I've heard nothing but amazing things about this book. This is one of those books where they don't actually include a blurb about what the book is about on the back. It's just all rave reviews. So, yeah, it sounds, everything I've heard about this book has been nothing short of amazing. So I'm very excited to read this. I hope everybody enjoys it. I believe this is the first book in what is to be a series. So that will be really exciting. So yeah, this is definitely one that I've already started, but this is the February book of the month for book club, which is really, really exciting. And then the rest of my TBR, I decided that I wanted to, I'm still going to be reading some fantasy, but I have some other stuff, and I think I'm going to go from books that I want to read the most to the books that I want to read if I get to them. We'll do that. It's a big stack. And And then I have audiobooks that I also listen to while I work. So the other book that I really am like so anxious to read is Stardust by Neil Gaiman. I have seen the movie and it's one of my favorite movies. I feel like it doesn't get a lot of, like, I feel like nobody really talks about it, but I did really like the movie a lot. I just love Claire Danes so much. But I honestly did not know that it was based off of a book. So I'm very excited. There's a few different options to pick at the bookshop in terms of cover art. I just really loved this. I thought it was so vintage and just super fun. So this is at the top of my TBR list for February, and I feel like it's going to become a favorite book. I hope it becomes a book that I want to read over and over and over again. I also picked up a copy of Normal People by Sally Rooney. This is a book that I feel like everybody knows about, or a lot of people know about. The thing, I've seen a bunch of comments where people are like, I wish that she put the dialogue in quotations. So I'm hoping that I don't focus on that too much, because she doesn't. It just kind of is written, but I'm excited to read this. It's not a very big book, so I feel like it'll be easy to read. And then I would like to watch the show. I didn't know that there was a series out. I think it's on Hulu or Prime or something. But whenever I can, I like to read the book before I watch the adaptation. So this is also at the top of my list. And I'm very excited. This was actually one of my most anticipated releases for January, and it's out. And this is Anatomy, a Love Story by Dana Shwartz. And can we just take a moment to appreciate the foil? Look how cool that is. So this story is, it is so interesting. I'm honestly like very intrigued as to where this is going to go. It is a gothic tale full of mystery and romance. Hazel Sinnott is a lady who wants to be a surgeon more than she wants to marry. Jack Currer is a resurrection man who's just trying to survive in a city where it's too easy to die. When the two of them have a chance encounter outside the Royal Edinburgh Anatomist Society, Hazel thinks nothing of it at first, but after she gets kicked out of renowned surgeon Dr. Beechman's lectures for being the wrong gender, she realizes that her new acquaintance might be more helpful than she first thought. It just, it sounds so good. I feel like that doesn't really do it much justice, but yeah, it's got my attention for sure. So I will also be reading this month. I'm actually really excited that I have a lot of physical books that I want to read this month. So I think it'll be exciting. It's also not a very long book as well. So I'm kind of hoping, knock on wood, that it'll kind of be at least like a book a week thing. Maybe. We'll see. I don't know if that's ambitious or not. And then, because it is February, a month of love, I picked up a copy of The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. And I honestly do not know anything about this. I did not read anything about this. I have just seen so many people say that if you want a good romance, you should read this. So don't ask me what it's about. When a fake relationship between scientists meets the irresistible force of attraction, it throws one woman's carefully calculated theories on love into chaos. Say no more. So I'm excited to read this. This might be like my bedtime storybook. But yes, so this is also on my TBR for February. And then if I get to them, I have these two books as well. So one is The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. I have had this on my bookshelf for 2 years now. I feel like it's been 2 years, maybe. This was actually a book that was part of a vote for, maybe it was 2019. I don't know when this came out, but I know it was one of the books that was brought up in a poll to be voted on to be read, and this did not win. But I feel like I've been seeing so many people talk about this book lately, who are kind of in the same position where they've had it for so long, but they haven't read it yet. So from what I understand, this is about a circus that arrives without warning. No announcements precede it. It is simply there when yesterday it was not. Within the black and white striped canvas tent is an utterly unique experience full of breathtaking amazements. But behind the scenes, a fierce competition is underway, a duel between two young magicians, Celia and Marco, who have been trained since childhood expressly for this purpose by their mercurial instructors. Unbeknownst to them both, this is a game in which only one can be left standing. Amidst the high stakes, Celia and Marco soon tumble headfirst into love, setting off a domino effect of dangerous consequences and leaving the lives of everyone from the performers to the patrons hanging in the balance. Sounds very exciting. I'm sure I'm probably like one of the last people to read this book, but if I get to it, this would be the next book on my list. And then if I get to it, I'd also like to try Neon Gods by Katie Robert. This is another Hades and Persephone retelling, and everything that I've read about this book, people say that if you like the Scarlet St. Clair series, you'll probably like this more. So I'm hoping that this is better because I do love Greek mythology, and yeah. So we'll see. This is also on my TBR for this month if I get to it. But I'm really excited. Reading has become a huge thing for me, as I said before, and doing this reading journal has really helped. Starting the reading journal has kept me accountable, which has been great. And I mean, I didn't think I was gonna like the reading journal as much as I do, but I love it, and I love working on it and writing in it and keeping track of things. I think it's the keeping track of what I'm reading that is helping to make a huge difference. And then I did get something really cool in the mail that I thought I could talk about. So one of my local bookshops, I say local because they're technically local, but they're called Pickwick Books, and they are located in Waterdown, if you're local. But anyways, they offer these monthly book subscriptions. You can either sign up once or you can do like a reoccurring thing and it just renews every month for you. You can choose, there's a few different options. I think there's a 2-book, a 4-book, and a 6-book option. I chose the 6-book option, but the 6 books was $25 because they are gently used. They don't even look like they've been used. And you can choose whether you want to stick to one genre or if you would like to do a few genres. And if you do, I chose to do a few genres, and then you can leave in the notes your preferred genre to read. So I wrote that I love fantasy, I sometimes like thriller, I love romance, and YA. So this is all put together by the owner of the bookstore, and it was delivered on Saturday. I did take a peek. But my plan is, so I actually, in the spring, it's right here, I'm going to be putting out a free little library out front, and I'm going to be stocking it full of books. There's going to be a kids shelf and then an adult shelf. But I figure for $25, I'm getting 6 books a month. So yeah, so it's $25, and for 6 books a month, I figured anything that I don't really feel drawn to read is something that I can put inside of the free little library. Because I think if I was planning to spend about $20 a month on stocking the library and just making sure that there's enough in there. And I was at Value Village yesterday checking out the book option selection, and they offer, it's buy 4 books, get the 5th for free, but every book is a different price. So some books were as cheap as $1 and some books were like $10. So I figure this is something great to try out for the first few months and see. So what I received in my first box was The Woman in Cabin 10 by Ruth Ware. I read my first Ruth Ware book in 2020 and I loved it. I have seen this one before, so I recognize it, but it's new to me. I don't know what it's about. But if you like authors like Lisa Jewell, then you'll love Ruth Ware. I believe she's British, and she writes like mystery. Yeah, she's British. She grew up in Sussex. Yeah, she writes a lot of mystery, thriller type of books, and they're all based in the UK, so it's a lot of fun to read. So I will read this. I'm very excited about it. And like, this is a used copy. It looks brand new. I also got, disclaimer, I haven't heard of any of these books that I'm about to show you. So I got something called Dark Eyes by William Richer, and a vigilant fights for justice at any cost. Wally could be that fearless. So this follows a female protagonist who's born in Russia and adopted by a wealthy family in New York City. Beautiful and rebellious, she trades a life of privilege for the gritty streets of Manhattan. She knows nothing of her childhood in Russia. Those years are lost forever. Now 16 and hardened, and she has just stumbled across a harrowing secret that will change her life forever. Wally's roots are deadly. She is the daughter of Kelsko, a notorious Russian gangster who's just broken out of prison. Kelsko is searching for the fortune Wally's mother stole from him long ago, and he'll stop at nothing to find it. Can Wally find and save her mother before Kelsko kills them both? So, sounds like a really fun mystery thriller. So I got that one. I got a romance called What Happens in Paradise by Ellen Hildebrand? Hildebrand, yes. I've seen a bunch of her romance books before, have not read a single one, so please tell me if it's worth reading. I don't read a lot of like straight up romance, but she is the author of Summer of '69 and Winter in Paradise, so received that. I got another romance, I believe, We'll Always Have Summer by Jenny Han. It's a really pretty book. And it says, it's a known fact that in life you can't have everything. In my heart, I knew I loved them both as much as it is possible to love 2 people at the same time. Conrad and I were linked. We would always be linked. That wasn't something I could do away with. I knew that now, that love wasn't something you could erase no matter how hard you tried. So it sounds like a love triangle, which who doesn't love that? So I feel like I would read this. So I received that one. This one is called Of Poseidon by Anna Banks. And And again, I don't know anything about this. So it says, Galen is the prince of the Sirena, sent to a land to find a girl he's heard can communicate with fish. Emma is on vacation at the beach when she runs into Galen, literally. Ouch. Both teens sense a connection, but it will take several encounters, including a deadly one with a shark, for Galen to be convinced of Emma's gifts. Now, if he can only convince Emma that she holds the key to his kingdom. So it's told from both points of view, from Emma and Galen. Here's a fish out of water story that sparkles with intrigue, humor, and waves of romance. I feel like I will read this because it has sharks in it, and I love sharks. And then the last book is called Dead Until Dark by Charlene Harris. And it is a Suki Stackhouse novel, and she's from True Blood. So I feel like it's the first book in the True Blood. I'm hoping it's the first book in a series. It sounds like it is because the back talks about one of the first scenes in True Blood, which is a show that I did watch for a little bit until it got a little too weird for me. So this could be really interesting to read because who doesn't love werewolves and vampires and fairies? So all in all, I'm pretty impressed with this stack of books that I received from Pickwick's. So I'm really, and I ended up going back and signing up for the reoccurring option. So I'm excited to see what else I received from them because it was a lot of fun, and it gets delivered, and it's $25 for 6 books, which I feel like is such a good deal. So yeah, that is where I'm at right now. I'm gonna try and record footage of me filling out my January stats, so I can share maybe a journal video with you soon. We'll see how it goes. I don't have the best system or rig to do a top-down video, so we'll see what I can come up with. But anyways, I hope that you enjoy this video more than the last video. I will not have music playing over me talking. And then I hope that you've all had a good first month of 2022, and I will see you again soon.